I don't know. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Love is the complete, all-encompassing, unadulterated acceptance of another human being.
Love is something you do.
Basically, I would say love is that description of something that you can't really describe.
It's like getting hit by lightning.
I definitely think that love is a choice.
I am kind of a believer in like the lightning bolt striking you, and then you just kind of know that that's the person that it's going to be.
Love is that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you hug someone and you know that nothing in the world matters.
Just seeing how we can work for a common goal to better both our lives. I would say that's what I think love is.
It's stability. It's knowing that somebody's going to be there for you, no matter what.
Well, it involves sacrifice and commitment. Like if those two, if they aren't willing to like sacrifice for the betterment of the other person, then it's not really love.
I think it's a whole cluster of emotions and has a lot to do with trust and being comfortable and I don't know. Yeah.
I think love's being there for each other.
Yeah.
I think it's just time consuming. It's a waste of time.
Love is sitting on the couch with me, just watching The Real Housewives of Orange County, even though you hate it and you think it's the dumbest show on earth, but doing it because I know it's stupid, but I love it. And doing it because you want to be with me, and I will watch stupid shows with you.
It's just kind of like you have a built-in best friend. It's not only saying, yes, I love this person, but it's also showing that love, expressing that love, and continuing to do so. Continuing to care deeply about a person and their well-being, and oftentimes putting that before your own well-being. That's it.
I think American culture has become obsessed with romantic love. We talk about love all the time, and it's in all of our songs, it's in all the movies. It becomes like the highest good that you search for, and once you find that thing, your life becomes guided, and it's a powerful force that you submit to, and you're willing to submit your independence to love, and you're willing to submit your other principles to love, and it's what we analyze everything against, and it starts to fulfill a lot of functions that a deity or a religious force would normally fulfill in a society. So love starts to replace God, because just like the construction of God changes based on the needs of the society, the construction of love is changing in our society today.
That freshman year of high school, in the microwave line.
During lunch.
And he was the only girl. I went to an all-girls school.
I was the only girl?
He was the only boy. He was the only boy, and he would come over to eat lunch because he took French class at the all-girls school.
Yeah, I did.
And he was waiting in line, and he had this really awesome pasta dinner
pasta
thing.
anytime. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I had Chef Boyardee, and it was so lame, but it was cheap, and my mom bought it. But anyways, and I asked him where he got it, and he said, I got it at the grocery store, genius. And then walked away. And then that was the last time I talked to him for like a year.
Yeah. Choices today are so limitless, and it's true for what we do, and it's true for what we wear and what we buy, but it's also true for who we choose to be in relationships with. Part of that is globalization, so we're not limited by geography anymore, because you can meet somebody, anywhere around the world that you wouldn't have met. And technology is part of that, because you can date somebody in another place, because you've met online. You can keep a long-distance relationship through things like Facebook and telephones and email. And so geography doesn't limit your choice anymore.
I'm Brandon. I am currently in a relationship that has been going on for 2 years and 2 months. To an amazing girl who I am in love with. We weren't in love when we first met. I had the cheap version of Match.com where I couldn't see anybody or receive emails. So I was just, looking for a date, basically. We ended up finding each other on Facebook and decided to meet up. We've just kind of grown to be together, to fall in love.
And a lot of the ideas we have about love today actually emerged out of the Middle Ages. Love is this magical thing that happens to you suddenly. It's, you know, feeling you have, an event you undergo, you fall in love.
Been with someone and you know that you're in love with them, like it's so much, like you understand the difference. Like
Yeah.
you may have thought you were in love with, in previous relationships, but like
Yeah.
it's nothing like what we have. It's nothing like.
He knows everything about me. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it works the same way. Like I tell her things I don't tell anyone else, and it's just I don't know.
I'm just nothing. I can't do anything in front of him that would embarrass me ever. Like I've never done.
She tries.
I mean, we do have our similarities. I mean, we do have our differences, and she does annoy me from time to time. So we do have our fights, but then we can talk about it and make up afterwards and discuss.
We started dating freshman year
Yep.
of high school or college. Freshman year of college.
Despite my attempts earlier.
Yeah.
Jerk.
Yeah, he asked me out a lot in high school, but I kept saying no because, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's what you do?
I kind of thought I was going to come to college and become really cool, so.
Well, we all see that didn't work out.
Today we live in a society where we have to make our own identity. It doesn't just get handed to us, which is not a universal phenomenon. So you choose your identity in your professional life, you choose your identity in what you buy and how you present yourself, and you're trying to limit your limitless choices by consuming in a way that's going to attract somebody to you. Part of that is globalization, and technology is part of that, but it's not just the technology, it's also the ideology. Like my generation is the first generation to live in a completely post-civil rights movement era. I mean, we grew up when all of the laws were already on the books, and to some extent they were acted out in life. So tolerance has become just part of our generational makeup. So, you know, along with not being limited by geography, you're no longer limited by race or class or religion or even sex anymore. And that person helps to define you in the personal aspect of your life. And so choice becomes very important. But we know they're really not, because love is this divinely ordained thing, and there's destiny or fate out there that's connecting you with the one person that you're supposed to be with. The person that you choose to love, but it was an uncontrollable thing that was put on you by this overwhelming emotion that you undergo.
Well, our relationship was kind of weird because I loved him before I started dating him. It was friend love. Like, I loved him. He was my best friend. Like, I could tell him anything. And we were telling each other that we loved each other since, like, sophomore year of high school. After we started hanging out, like, every weekend. And, like, we were inseparable.
Brandy had actually wanted to go off the Peace Corps for a couple years, and that was shortly after we met. And she was kind of afraid to get in a relationship with me or get serious because she didn't want to leave because this was turning out to be a good thing. But then she had this life dream of going into the Peace Corps. So right now she hasn't done it yet.
And the romantic love marriages are all about choice.
So think about the 12th century. I'm going to take you on through to the 20th century and give you an explanation of how this happened. This is what's sometimes called a structural history, because you're looking at the social structure and the cultural structure and how it changes over time. So the first thing that we have during this time is we have an increased division of labor. We have rapid technological developments. You have the printing press and so on. And these things create more jobs, and people have an increasing division of labor. Less people are working in the fields now as people move into other occupations. This leads to an increase in market economy. Not everybody's growing their own food by any means, and so you need to go to a market in order to exchange for the things that you need to survive. So you have this growing market economy, a commodity culture, and this is a consumer culture where people have lots of choices, and this increases individualism because you can now go to the market with your money, and it's your money that you earned. You as an individual can operate alone, and you have lots of choices in front of you. It's increasing the sense of individualism. This leads to two things. It increases your sense of freedom, but also it increases autonomy. Anomie is this sense of like there's too many choices, it's not clear what the right path is, so you don't have a real sense of where you fit in, and you get this sense of being lost, floating through the world. Pretty common feeling in today's society, to just not quite feel like you're on the path, like you don't quite fit in. And the thing about love is that it fits both of those. Love is a choice, but it also cures your anomie, because when you find the one, you sort of feel like you're completed. People are very mobile, they're very individualistic, they're seeking out that person who can make them feel whole again. They end up with romantic love marriage.
So there's an enormous pressure to find identity in the person that loves you. And so what all this pressure tells us about ourselves as human beings is that even though we live in an individualistic society where you know, everything is supposed to be down to the single person and independence is highly valued, we can't live alone. We cannot be completely individualistic, and love helps us find community.